Hey guys, what it do? It's your boy Supreme with you had a God. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna be dropping hella videos. So this one right now, man, I told you I'm coming through with the sauce on this one. So I promised y'all this video some time ago, and then I got a little busy and I was doing other videos and I had other ideas, and then boom, boom, boom. You know how it be. You know how it be in this YouTube turbulence. The turbulence is like a goddamn hurricane. You know what I'm saying? It's not always so easy to stay. You know what I'm saying? To remember part 2's the video is supposed to make. So this is part 2. We're gonna talk about the one, the only Homelander. The bad guy. Now, in season 1, we are introduced to Homelander, and Homelander is this fearsome guy, right? He's this scary dude. Now, specifically for this video, we're going to talk about the show. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about the show and not the comics. Although I think the comics actually low-key, in some aspects, do a better job. You know what I'm saying? In other aspects, not so. You know what I'm saying? But there'll be a future video on the comics versus the show Homelander. You know what I'm saying? Probably at some point before season 3. But I'm gonna make sure to give spoiler warnings and all type of shit. But yeah, so Homelander the bad guy. Now in season 1 we see a very scary, ruthless guy, right? Especially towards the start of the season. We see this guy who, like, he pulls up but he doesn't seem necessarily evil. You know what I'm saying? He seems kind of like unhinged, right? But not necessarily evil, like not that bad. He seems like a hero with aggression issues, like an anti-hero almost, like a Punisher type shit. Like even when he pulls up to stop those robbers and he just flings your man through the air and your man lands and just bursts and he's just there like, yeah, it's nothing. But it's not really until we get to like the aircraft scene, you know, the airplane scene, where we start seeing, yo, Homelander might not be the guy we thought he was. Like, this guy is really built different, right? Now there's also the whole rape allegation thing, right? So this part is interesting, because in the show Homelander tells Butcher that, like, that's not how it went down. Essentially, that shit was consensual. But according to Homelander's wife, that shit was rape. Right? So those the two aspects of the story here. Now, if you look at Homelander's action within the show, if you just look at the show, right? Do anything now, but we do know that when Starlight, when she got the shit done to her, May felt no sympathy and was like, man, happens to all of us type shit. So maybe it happened to her, but who did it? Was it Homelander? Was it Lamplighter? Who was it? I ain't really know. So I'm just basing off information given in the show. Homelander says one thing, and Butcher's ex-wife says another thing. So it's interesting there. I can't get too much into it for reasons, but you'll understand more in the future yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully when the show is eventually gonna 100% talk about that thing, because if you look at how Homelander pulls up to the wife, and to not the wife but the mother of his kid, and you know, he's there and everything. Obviously he wasn't supposed to be able to have babies, so he obviously went loose. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know if it was aggressive or if it was whatever yet. So that's why I didn't, you know, like, I know somebody commented that in my last video when I talk about the good guy, which obviously I didn't mean he's actually a good guy, but I just wanted to point out the quote unquote things that he technically was right to do. You know what I'm saying? In terms of being a parent and not lying to the kid, etc, etc, etc. Now, to me, it makes all the logical sense in the world for her to not say that it was consensual sex, because you already know that Butcher was ready to kill the kid, or to let the kid go, to do all type of crazy shit. She knows Butcher is a crazy ass motherfucker, and if she said that shit was consensual, Butcher might kill her. You know what I'm saying? So I think it makes sense for her to have that narrative. So it's very easy, obviously, you know, believe women in real life and shit, but we're talking about a show, right? So this is a show. We have to think about, I don't want people to get overly sensitive about the topic. So just, you know, a warning, if you're extra sensitive about the topic, my bad if it raises any flags or if it makes you feel some type of way. I'm only talking about it in regards to the show, not in real life, not in just in this fictional universe, and in, you know, from what we see as the audience, right? So we know that she lied about her own death. She lied that she was dead. You know what I'm saying? Then she lied about having a kid. She lied about a hell lot of shit. So we can't just take motherfucker's word, you know, like as Bond. She lied to her kid, his whole life, all type of shit. So we know she a lying ass mofo. Homelander isn't like necessarily a liar. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't really see this man lie throughout the series. He kind of just say shit. You know what I'm saying? He's not the smartest tool or the brightest lamppost. You know what I'm saying? Lamppost. He's not the smartest lamp in the shed. You know what I'm saying? He's not the sharpest tool. So we know he ain't big brain enough to be creating. Man, I've the hiccups. Creating crazy narratives, right? So, anyways, let me get off of that topic. But I just want to explain why I kind of feel like she could also be lying about that whole situation. You know what I'm saying? Now, he could also have done it, clearly, because it's fucking Homelander. He's a nutcase, right? So, but if he did it, I don't see him denying that he did it. That's all I'm saying. Like, I see him definitely loitering that over Butcher. Like, yeah, that's why he did this to your wife. Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's some Homelander shit. He don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't boast about it. He doesn't seem to, like, I don't know. He seems way too normal in front of that shit. Like, there's no awkwardness. He's just there like, yo, that's my kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even know. Obviously, I know that the place I work at hid this from me, but I want to be my kid's life, all type of shit. It seems kind of wild. Now, I'm not saying, you know, for the show, for the characters were presented, it seems kind of wild. Okay, so hopefully that fucking explains enough, right? Don't come on my throat, please. But if you think otherwise, please explain from the show, only the show, using only the show as the source as to why you think it's not the case, right? No real life shit, you know what I'm saying? This shit is kind of crazy. Alright, so then we go to his other quote unquote bad aspect. So obviously he's ruthless. He's completely ruthless, and all he cares about is his image, right? So we see in season 2 when he's standing in front of all these people and he thinks about laser beaming every motherfucker there, and he has this whole vivid image of it, and he's just murking everybody, and in his head he's like, what's stopping me from doing this, right? And this is something we see early in season 1 where he's like, why am I listening to these motherfuckers? Like, I'm way stronger than these dudes, like. But we know also Homelander is kind of a child still. Like, he's been so sheltered and over-sheltered, and that's one of the reasons why he didn't want his son to kind of end up not knowing about the true reality of things, not knowing, you know what I'm saying? So his brain isn't fully there. And that's the situation that he's stuck in, right? So you see, even when he goes up to Africa or, you know, what that place to that, and he just laser beams a motherfucker through the chest, boom. And he kills the person behind him, and he's just smiling like, oh shit, I'm out. Boom, and he just flies. Like, it's like, dude, the fuck? Like, yo, this shit kind of crazy. Now, also, I don't understand in the show, actually, he's supposed to be this bad motherfucker, all of that shit, but he keeps letting Butcher live. Like, I don't understand. Why is Butcher still alive? Because, like, Butcher ain't got shit on him. Like, why didn't he just kill Butcher? Like, you know, in that whole whale scene, like, this dude got super speed, he can fly, and yet they're all just walking after Butcher and crew. I'm like, what? I don't understand what's going on. It's like, I feel like those are the kind of things I think that let season down a little bit for me. It's like some of the logic kind of flew out the window. I felt like season 1 was extremely logical in how it represented them and the actions. Even the plane scene when he's like, yo, I can't do this. Like, he's not that great at using his power. We know this, right? He doesn't know how to control the power output of his laser beams. You know what I'm saying? He just beams. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to use his power. He doesn't know how to completely... He hasn't mastered them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I know how to kick a ball. It doesn't mean I know how to hit a top corner shot every time. You know what I'm saying? So, he laser beams the pilot by accident he laser beams the pilot and the gear and all that shit by accident while trying to kill the terrorists, right? So, he sucks ass at his job. And then when Mavis like fucking carry the plane, he's like, I can't do that shit, bro. This is not a movie. Like, I'm just gonna fly through that shit because it needs momentum. He doesn't manipulate air in the same way as like Superman. So it's kind of weird. So for him to fly, he has to like gain momentum and have something to push off of. But then how are you flying up if you have nothing to push off of? Because you obviously can accelerate while flying. But then he says if he accelerates while flying, he's gonna go through the hole. But it's like, why don't you grab the thing and then begin accelerating? But he says there's nothing to push off of, but then how the fuck are you flying up in the first... Like, it's kind of strange. Like, to be honest, I think... Yeah, I think they're trying to be super logical. I suppose even if he pushes it, he's just going to push through it because it's so heavy. Maybe that's the kind of scenario. But obviously, that's another bad bad aspect of him. He doesn't even try to save anybody, right? Like, even if he just says, look, I'll try to save as many as I can, I'll save all the kids, put them all here, Maeve, you grab some kids, hop on, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like he could have saved a good few people, right? Just, I don't know, have the kids hold on to you, then grab a hand of like the strongest motherfucker in that bitch and get them to grab other hands, then get Maeve on the other hand, grab her, you know what I'm saying, grab her by, I don't know, the back of her cape, right? And then she grabs more people with her hands, and then more people hang on to her, and you just yank every motherfucker out of it. I don't know, this guy sucks as a superhero, right? So that's bad. Like, this guy's a bad superhero. He trash. Like, he don't know how to be a superhero. I feel like I could come up with, like, again, that's kind of goes with his brain and him being stupid. He's not a genius. He doesn't have, you know what I'm saying? But he's starting, I think throughout the shows, we realize he's beginning to adapt, and he's beginning to understand, and he's beginning to kind of see what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? We see that he's afraid of the higher ups in the tower, right? So he hasn't even been to some of the floors in the tower. He doesn't even have access to a lot of things in the tower. So the more he discovers about himself, the more he discovers about what's happening, the crazier the shit gets. You know what I'm saying? So super interesting. I hope season 3 like really delves deeper into this shit, right? We also see how he throws his kid off the roof. Now, I know in the good video I say how, you know, he was certain that the kid had powers and shit, but that was still some crazy bad shit. That was some dumbass shit. Dude just took his kid, flung that motherfucker off a roof. That shit crazy. That shit kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's some bad parenting 101. And then, you know, there's way more bad shit that he's done. Obviously, how he treats, how he uses fear mongering and he uses his power to manipulate all the members of the Seven. Like he's like, yo, you know what I'm saying? He looks at you type shit. But except Black Noir, he likes Black Noir. Black Noir knows whatever he's told, so he doesn't seem to have a problem with Black Noir. Everybody else, you know, likes showing emotions and all of this shit. And he's like, yo, he lets them off for the most part, but when it comes to the money, you know what he's saying goes, never fuck with the money. You know what I'm saying? He likes being rich. He likes being big pimp chilling. He likes being free, not having to. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably one of the reasons why he doesn't just go bad. Because then you'll have a bunch of heroes, a bunch of people trying to fight him all at the time. But this way he gets to chill, enjoy luxury lifestyle, be a movie star, be a polarizing figure. You know what I'm saying? And obviously when you have Storm with him, you know, Stormfront with him, it brings out the kind of his ego more, like, you know what I'm saying? Because he's pretty much a child. He's drinking milk throughout the whole show, all the time. He needs breast milk. You know what I'm saying? He needed that shit off the mother figure in season 1. So you see that he's still a baby. He's still being babied, right? So he's still on that shit, sipping some breasticles. So obviously he's not a fully matured person, despite his age, despite all of that shit. He's still a child. He never really experienced life to be anything but that, right? So, and I think that's the kind of beauty of it. Now I know there's so much more about the bad situations, how he kills people, how he manipulates people, you know, how he killed the mother figure, you know, basically out of revenge, laser beamed her fucking eyeballs out because she was lying to him. You know, but he's somebody figuring out the truth. He's not necessarily, depending on how you view the rape thing, if you think that he definitely raped, then 100% you can have that black and white viewpoint over he's definitely a bad guy. But if you see kind of the nuances, I think that the show is trying to present with these characters, because if you look at it, none of these characters are perfect, right? None of these characters are flawless. None of the good guys are, none of the bad guys are, and I think that's on purpose, right? I think Hughie is the closest thing to it, and even he's not perfect, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I think the viewpoint is it's a little bit more nuanced. So I'm looking forward to season 3, man. I'm excited. I talked way too much on one topic just because it was such a serious topic, and I didn't want anybody to kind of misconstrue anything about it. So that's why I spent that extra time on it. But what you guys think? You know what I'm saying? It's been your boys, the Premature to God. Make sure.
I got friends now. You ain't know, but I got friends now. I'm balling out with my friends now. You ain't know what I got friends now.